Nice one, Cyril.
Welcome to Nice One, Cyril Extra Time. I'm Simon Lipson. With me, as usual, is Kevin Aker. Hi, Kev.
Morning, Simon.
Now, I'm sounding cheerful, aren't I? I'm sounding upbeat, but I'm anything but. I was saying to you before we started recording this morning that I've done no preparation for this podcast. Normally, I have pages of notes and all kinds of stuff because I thought this was an occasion for us to just talk as Spurs fans and try and find some semblance of sense and I don't know, some idea of what the future holds. You know, just riffing. So, well, go on. We lost to Crystal Palace last night. It was horrible. Take it away.
I think, like everyone else, I got incredibly mixed feelings, most of which, 99% of which are negative. I felt last night there was a brief period, and I think people around me the same, where it felt like an injustice, yet another injustice, that given everything that we've seen, both in our matches, in other people's matches, the idea that Van der Ven was sort of sent off for what he did seemed wrong. And I think we held on for that for a little while. And then the way in which we collapsed with 10 men actually brought home the real problem, which isn't occasional injustices. And we've certainly been on the wrong end of a few. The problem lies with the mindset of the players and ultimately the mindset of the entire club. One of the things I was thinking about this morning was we're too nice, and there's certainly been people on Twitter, I think, accusing others of being too nice, and you've let this happen, and fans don't really bear any responsibility, except maybe that we haven't given the board and ENIC a hard enough time. And by we, I mean me as well, because every time something a bit positive has happened, you sort of forget the underlying problems and you think, no, this time it's going to work out. We have a good performance or we buy someone decent, which I think last happened in about 1994. Or, things look promising. We get a new manager. Things look promising. Even with Tudor coming, it felt like, even just before the Arsenal match, things looked positive again. And we've let that distract us from the overall just deterioration and the spiral that's been going on for years and years. And we've let them get away with it for too long. That doesn't mean we're responsible for what they've done, the club as a whole, but, we've contributed to it in a small way, I think.
I guess you're right. I mean, there have been protests and there have been representations made to the board over the years, really, by, is it THFT Trust? I can't think what they're called. But we know that they've been making the case. And the club has sort of blithely overridden all of that, first under Levy and now, well, I don't know who we're under right now. And it just feels as though the drift has taken us away on the wind now. There's no way back to shore. And last night I did something I haven't done ever. 56 years of supporting Spurs through thick and thin, but just mostly thin. But I was there the season we went down. I was there the season we came up. I just didn't miss a match. And last night, after we conceded the second goal, I said to the group, our WhatsApp group, I can't sit here anymore. I just can't do it anymore. But even then, there's a part of me thought, oh, come on, you've got to stick it out. You've got to hang on. Then the third goal went in, and I thought, well, I'm getting up out of my seat, and I'm going to go onto the concourse and just breathe, just kind of take a moment. And as I got onto the concourse, I just kept going. And I made my way down the stairs, got out the ground, and, there were hundreds and hundreds of people doing likewise. It was relief, Kev. I just thought I couldn't stand it anymore. And there was something that occurred to me, which was, first of all, I didn't know what I was watching, but I also didn't know who I was watching anymore. Something broke for me last night. It was like, I don't know who this team is. I don't know who this club is. I've been here all this time. most of us, we've just been here because our allegiance is blind. It's, it's emotional. And last night it snapped. I'm watching a bunch of blokes on a pitch who don't know what they're doing. They don't seem to give a shit. I don't believe they don't give a shit, but they subconsciously, I don't think they're trying hard enough. I don't think they're doing enough. I don't think they believe enough. And confidence is a frail thing. You and I played sport, and I played tennis at quite a high level as a kid. Hard to believe, but I did. And I know, when confidence is flowing, everything just comes naturally. You don't think. And when it's, when you're shaky, you overthink everything. So we scored a goal, Kev. We weren't playing all that well, but it was okay. We were hanging in, and then we got the goal. Great bit of work by Archie Gray. Nice finish, snappy finish by Solanke. And you thought, okay, build. Just consolidate and then build. This is the springboard. Within 4 minutes, everything utterly deflated. I want to take your view on this. You sit in the south stand, I think, don't you? So you were right behind that incident with Mickey.
Yeah.
From where I was sitting, I'm on the side of that. I thought he grabbed him. I didn't think he grabbed him that hard, but he grabbed him. The guy had got the wrong side of him, and Flappy didn't come out quickly enough, and it was all the usual confusion. When I saw it back in slow-mo afterwards, I thought, Christ almighty, he's not only grabbed him, he's not letting go. Sometimes the defender will grab someone and then instantly let go. Think, oh shit, I better not. He grabbed him, and then he held him, and then he got another arm around him. I mean, it just seemed like Van de Ven saying, fuck this, I know I'm going. And I hate to say this, but he's been in an odd place for a while, and I didn't think he gave a shit. Maybe I'm being unkind. What are your thoughts on that incident and Van de Ven generally?
I mean, I think generally, yeah, things have just gone wrong. He's been giving off some negative vibes. It's hard not to think he's thinking ahead, to the summer and going to whoever, Liverpool, Real Madrid, or whoever he thinks he's going to go to. I think, having watched that back as well, it felt more like incompetence, just a not very good bit of defending, rather than not caring as such. He did grab him, and he continued grabbing him into the penalty area, and that's what ultimately led to our defeat, I think. It was just poor defending, poor judgment, poor decision making. But I don't know, maybe we, inevitably you make more bad judgments, bad decisions when you don't care so much. So I'm not sure.
Or also, Kev, I mean, you also make bad decisions when your mind is fuzzy, when you're not thinking clearly, when everything is going wrong and going against you, you don't feel like yourself. Mickey Van de Ven, the fastest defender on the planet, tidy, competent, strong. And it was like, it was almost like a brain fart, wasn't it? It's like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this. And he must, somewhere deep in his subconscious, there must have been a thing that said, don't do it, because I'm going to cost the team tonight, or let him score, for fuck's sake. Stay there, have 11 men on the pitch, and we'll move on. This was like, I'm abandoning the game. The game has gone, and I'm out of here. Romero's done this already, It just felt like a sort of a dereliction of duty and abandonment of responsibility to me.
Yeah, I do get that. And I think maybe this is my odd sort of desperate to see the best in people, even when they let us down and lose us matches. I don't know. I don't know what was going on in his mind. I mean, either way, he was not good enough at that moment. And, whatever the motivations for his not being good enough. And again, I think that maybe we've overrated him as well, even when he was good. Because he was good, we were excited because of the goal line clearance in the, Europa League, because of that goal he scored. He can be a special player. And maybe I just want to hold on to him as one of our very few special players. And that last night was not special at all. It was poor.
I wonder if he's bought into his own hype a little bit. People talk about him. Everyone talks about him. Real Madrid want him. Liverpool, everyone wants him. And there's a part of him that has checked out. I don't think that's willful. But, well, it doesn't matter in a sense, because I won't be here. I'm going to be somewhere else. And, we have been shipping goals. We have been playing badly with him in the team.
Yes.
And likewise with Romero in the team. People are talking about Romero coming back, for the Liverpool game as though that's, he's our saviour. But he's also just done something which has left us short.
Yeah.
At a critical time. Archie Gray, I think, was probably the standout, the only guy who seemed to really
absolutely
kind of get the gravity of the situation and do something about it. There are lots of question marks, I think, about selection and formation. Now, we don't spend a lot of time pissing around talking about formations, but I don't know whether Igor Tudor has, he's done the old square peg round hole selection policy. This is how I play football, and I'm now going to stick Simmons on the left wing against Fulham. I'm going to put Solanke deep against Fulham. And last night there were other elements of the side that looked unbalanced and weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but that is now looking like a really poor appointment. And, people talking this morning about Harry Redknapp and God knows who else. But on reflection, someone who gets the club, understands the club, and understands how to deal with situations like this, one thing you shouldn't be doing is coming in with a new broom and saying, we're not going to play like that anymore, boys. We're going to play three at the back. We're going to do that. And suddenly, not only are we struggling for confidence, we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, and also I think, what we I think most of us liked about him when he first came, all those years ago, was just this sense of he is going to tell these people to pull themselves together, fight for the club, do what I want because I'm a scary bloke. And you get the impression that actually that's not the best approach. And so that combination of fitting the square pegs into round holes and them not feeling liked and loved and looked after by him, I think has been fairly disastrous. I mean, we forgave him the Arsenal match. That's a very difficult one to start with. You let him have that, but Fulham was poor. Last night was, I think, worse. I mean, interesting. The second half, we were better. The 10 men actually played better. I mean, overall, we probably just edged the second half. Now, I'm not sure what that says, except that was not about his tactics or strategy particularly. I mean, we were still awful. Gallagher was awful. And I've been a big defender of him, or tried to be, because I thought he was actually a good buy. He hasn't been a good buy so far. Xavi, showed in little bits, again, some good stuff in the second half. Archie just continued being good and putting effort in and being our best player. There were signs of something good, but this goes back to what we were saying earlier. Oh, look, there are occasional positive signs, therefore everything's going to be all right, and we won't go down. It's not good enough. It's really not.
I wonder whether that 10-man thing is, we certainly were very good against Liverpool with 10 men and even 9 men. It's a kind of all right, fellas, we have to show what we're made of. And the stakes then are very much lower because, all right, if you lose 5-1, well, okay, but we gave it a go, lads. We gave it a go. We were down to 10 men. What do you expect? But I just sort of don't buy into the idea that proves anything. And the reason I raised that, of course, is because after the match, Igor Tudor was saying, I'm more encouraged now than I was before, as though I've now identified the players who I can rely on, who are going to do the job. We've got 9 matches left.
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying. We've got Liverpool away, so we can write that one off. And they're not playing very well, but we're us. We've got Villa. I think we've got Chelsea away, so we can write that one off as well. It seems increasingly as though the pivotal matches are going to be Wolves, who are playing really well at the moment,
Yep.
and that's away from home. And Nottingham Forest at home is the ultimate kind of six-pointer. I've looked at all the fixtures. The way we're playing, the way we're approaching matches at the moment, the way we're kind of not showing up, the fact that people like Gallagher, who I know is a good footballer, just can't seem to produce anything for us, suggests to me that we're not going to win another point this season. Now, I'm being typically Spursy and pessimistic about that, but when you see the last few performances, I'm not just under Tudor, but under Thomas Frank, it's as though the heart and soul has gone out of this team. And you could ask them individually, are you fighting? And they go, yes, I'm really trying. I'm giving 100%, but something fundamental is lacking temperamentally and emotionally in these players. And no amount of Tudor looking stern and talking a good game is going to change that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about the Champions League matches and whether they could have a positive effect rather than a negative effect. Almost like just playing with 10 men, being away to Atletico Madrid may free us up a little bit. If we could get, a result, if we could get a draw there, maybe it would just give us a boost as a team, as a squad. I don't know. Obviously, the opposite could also be the case. If we get completely hammered, it's going to make things even worse.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I found myself getting a ticket for the home leg a couple of days ago. I'm not quite sure why I did, because I have a bit of an issue with that not being included, with nothing being included in the season ticket at all. Yeah. So I've always sort of refused to get those sort of pay the extra for Champions League matches. But I did a couple of days ago. And I think part of that was just to try and experience something different, something more positive. And again, if we do get a decent result, or even if we lose by a goal, it could be a decent home leg. So I don't know. I don't know. There was something else I just wanted to say, Simon, because I've been thinking about this as well. That one of the things I've been doing, and I'm guessing other people have been doing, is trying to say to myself, it's only football. It doesn't matter really. We've all got stuff going on in our lives. Some people have got horrible things going on in their lives, and really, football doesn't matter. Except it does, doesn't it? It does matter because it's part of who we are. It's part of my dad, I've mentioned before, was a Charlton fan, but he used to take me to Tottenham. It's part of my good memories with him, really, is being there, at Tottenham with him. And everyone's got those sort of stories of friends and, family connections. It's part of where I grew up. I had wish I had been a Charlton fan, as I've mentioned before, but I couldn't really. You grew up in Enfield, in those days you were a Tottenham fan. There was no other choice. So it's part of me, and the older I get, the more part of me it's obviously become, and I'm sure that's true for most people. So I don't know at the moment. It feels like I'm trying to juggle those two things. It doesn't matter, really. It's not that important. Even if we go down, it's not that important. But it is, and it will affect me emotionally.
Well, I guess what it is, well, certainly for me, is it's a constant in my life. It's a thread that has run through my life for 56 years. And I was born a mile down the road from the old White Hart Lane, and I feel connected to the area. I live very close, and it's just parts of me. And so yes, it is of course nonsensical that we can get so wound up about it and upset about it, but it's an emotional connection that you'd like to dismiss as trivial. But here we are, we're talking about it, and I don't know about you, I'm feeling quite heavy and down, and not quite tearful, but it's really, really weighing on me. And I've got, like you, many more important things going on in my life. And it doesn't actually interfere with any of those other things or make them better or worse. But on its own, it's something that is quite a dominant feature. Last night when I left, it was the first time I felt something snap between me and the club. And yet this morning I wake up and I'm looking at all the fixtures and thinking, how can we save ourselves and what can we do and how do, all that stuff. It will never go away. And sadly, we are cursed with this virus for the rest of our lives. Look, I tell you what, we've done this off the top of our heads, just really to vent and to express some emotions and ideas. We've got the big pod on Monday with Julie and I think might be Dave joining us, Dave Bradshaw. And we'll have had time to reflect. We haven't got a match at the weekend, thank fuck. And we can reflect a bit on this and gather a bit more inside info and the views of our erudite comrades on Twitter and beyond. And I'm sure we'll have something hopefully constructive and positive to say on Monday. But for today, thank you, Kevin. You can follow us on Twitter at NiceOneCyrilPod. We have a website, www.niceonecyrilpodcast.co.uk. All the episodes are on there. We're all over social media, and why not give us a follow or subscribe on the podcast platform of your choosing. Try and have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you for listening, and come on, you Spurs.
Nice one, Cyril.